so much more to tell you, but I'll let Chris talk. Okay.
Chairman Smith, I would like to request to reclaim the 15 minutes that the Congresswoman has taken of my time.
Okay, I'll go sit down.
No, you can stand up here like I had to. Yeah, I want you to know we've been married 45 years, being happily married for about 38, you know.
Oh, we're opposites. We're opposites.
The first 7 was pretty tough. We had a power struggle. I finally surrendered and just gave up. I'm the chairman of the Illinois Freedom Caucus, and, you know, the Freedom Caucus came to birth because Republicans refused to act like Republicans. And I know that when I was sitting in our caucus meeting one day and Jim Durkin came in and they were getting ready to vote on this huge tax increase for the citizens of Illinois, he said, quote, "Mike Madigan said that we need 20 of you Republicans to vote for this bill," unquote. And I thought, because I'd read the platform, and the platform, it says Republicans don't vote for tax increases because we know that they harm businesses and families. And so I thought, we have to do something here. And so that is one of the reasons why the Illinois Freedom Caucus came into existence, because they continue to not want to act like Republicans. You know, and it's one thing that in Springfield, the Democrats fight Republicans and the Republicans fight Republicans. You know, and it's really unfortunate, but we are trying to call our party back to some of the fundamental foundational principles that have made America, America. We want to govern and come back to the principles that are found in the Word of God. We want to draw people back to the wonderful Constitution of the United States. And we also want to bring people back to read the Republican Party platform. It's a wonderful document, and it stands for all the things that we all believe in. But I am convinced that very, very few of my colleagues have ever even taken time to read the document, because it's golden. Because I was so relieved after I read the Republican Party platform. I thought, I'm a platform conservative. And it took all the guesswork out of how you're going to vote and when you're going to vote. But we all know that John Adams said our Constitution was written for a moral and religious people. Morality and virtue are the foundation of our republic and necessary for a free society. It's important when you go into really anything that you have a true north. And one thing about it is that the Word of God guides my every thought and my action and my doing, hopefully consistently. Sometimes I'm a little inconsistent like that, but every morning when I wake up, I have my Bible before breakfast. That's just part of me. You can call me legalist if you want to, but I am completely and totally dependent upon the grace of God. And every day that I wake up, I decide that I want to walk with Jesus today. But by the time 10 or 11 o'clock rolls around, to be perfectly honest, I still want to walk with Jesus, but a lot of days I'm madder than a biting sow. And so if you're from the farm, you'll get that. But you know, we were conceived in liberty. And a lot of people forget, in the words of Abraham Lincoln, he mentioned that we're conceived in liberty. And what that ideal was, that the seeds of freedom were planted in the hearts of young patriots. The seeds of freedom were planted in the hearts of a new nation. And they thought that we could self-govern. And they were they were led, I believe, by the Spirit of the living God to bring forth principles that would guide us so that we could live free. And, it's like Reagan said that this is how the Democrats govern. If it moves, they tax it. If it keeps moving, they regulate it. And if it stops moving, they subsidize it. And that's the template we see in Springfield. And a lot of times that we need to understand that we are not governed by the majority. We are governed by the majority that participate. And so I appreciate Shannon's comments about apathy. There is so much voter apathy in the state of Illinois, and they have convinced you to stay at home because you can't win. And it's just absolutely not true. But why do we need to be involved? We need to be involved because politics matter, because policy matters, because people matter.